Most people think high IQ is something you're born with, locked in your DNA, fixed forever. But here's what the research actually shows. The world's smartest people don't just think differently, they behave differently, every single day. And those behaviors? Anyone can learn them. I'm going to show you 5 habits that consistently appear in scientists, founders, strategists, and creators with extraordinarily high intelligence. Count how many you already do, and stay till the end because the scoring reveal will surprise you.
Habit 1. Relentless questioning. High IQ people are deeply, almost annoyingly, curious. But it's not random curiosity, it's directed. When they hear something, anything, their brain immediately asks, why is this true? What am I missing? What's the assumption underneath this assumption? They don't do this to be difficult, they literally cannot stop themselves. Think about the last time someone explained something to you confidently. Did you accept it? Or did something inside you quietly ask, but how do we actually know that? If that voice exists in you, that's not stubbornness, that's the foundation of high intelligence. Curiosity isn't a personality trait, it's intelligence in motion. Habit 2. Long focus cycles. Here's something nobody tells you about smart people. Thoughtful. They're terrible at shallow multitasking, and they know it. High IQ minds don't just prefer deep focus, they need it. Determined. They will aggressively protect their environment to get it. No notifications, no half conversations, no background noise. Einstein took hours-long walks alone, not for exercise, but to think without interruption. Darwin had his thinking path he walked every day. Newton locked himself in his room for 18 months during the plague and invented calculus. For most people, deep work is a productivity hack. For high IQ thinkers, emphatic, it's just how their brain operates at full power. If you've ever felt frustrated that you can't think properly when people are around, you might understand this better than you think.
Habit 3. Obsessive pattern recognition. High IQ people see the world differently, not because they're smarter in every way, but because their brain is constantly, automatically looking for patterns. In conversations, in systems, in numbers, in history, in human behavior. While others are reacting to what's happening, high IQ thinkers are already asking, where does this lead? What does this remind me of? What's the shape of this problem? They're playing chess while others are playing checkers, not because they're trying to, but because their brain won't let them stay on the surface. The practical habit? They build mental models, frameworks for how things work that they can apply to new situations instantly. They don't just store information, they store the structure underneath it. Habit 4. Thinking on paper. Here's a habit that surprises people. Nearly every high IQ thinker externalizes their thoughts. Journals, whiteboards, mind maps, sketchbooks, notes apps at 2 a.m. Why? Because writing does something the mind alone cannot. It reveals the gaps, the flaws, the contradictions. When a thought lives only in your head, it feels complete. The moment you write it down, you see the holes, the assumptions you didn't know you were making, the connections you hadn't noticed. Habit 5. Strategic solitude. And finally, the habit that gets the most misunderstood. High IQ people aren't antisocial. They're not unfriendly. They just have an unusually strong need for solitude, and they've learned to protect it. Not to escape, to process. They create mental distance before decisions. They retreat to let ideas incubate. They treat solitude the way elite athletes treat recovery, not optional, but essential. Here's the thing most people don't realize. Insight doesn't happen during stimulation. It happens after it. The quiet moment after a conversation is often where the real thinking begins. If you've ever needed to be alone after a social event, not because you disliked it, but because your brain was still working, you already understand this instinctively. So, how many did you count? 1 habit means you're already on the path. 2 or 3 means you think differently from most people around you. 4 or 5? Well, you probably knew that before you clicked this video. Here's the thing nobody says enough. Intelligence isn't a fixed gift. It's a skill set, and skill sets can be built. Every one of these habits started as a choice, in someone, somewhere, before it became second nature. Tell me in the comments, which habit do you already have? And which one are you starting today? Subscribe, because your brain deserves better content than it's been getting.